to see who has the heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
What an incredible Cinderella story, this unknown. Oh, he got all of that one. He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here.
Welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill on Highway 72 East in Athens, just off I-65. Don't go away. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is next. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Daily and Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daily and Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daily and Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hey, this is James Clemens Sports basketball coach Francis Sullivan, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Good Saturday morning, everyone. Fabulous Memorial Day weekend we got ahead of us. Raining like cats and dogs right now up here at Applebee's. It's Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Next to the last show of the season, we will continue through May for live, and then after that, we'll go to Best Of for the remainder of the summer. Tom McClung here, old Tomcat, alongside the coach, Clint Legg, producer extraordinaire, Tim Lambert. Got a good show lined up for you this morning. We have several years ago, we had a guy on, and he was on with us, and the most abrupt end of an interview I've ever seen. What do you think about that? Tim, have you ever had one end abrupter?
No. Unless the call dropped.
Dude
then,
George Visger will be joining us. He's got a book called Facing Giants, My 38-Year Battle. Looking forward to seeing how things have progressed in the last 7 years to see how he's turned out. I hope everything's turned out well for him. He was a former San Francisco Giant defensive tackle. Author of the book Facing Giants, My 38-Year Battle.
Yeah, he's a motivational speaker and talks about this kind of CTE stuff.
Okay, excellent. CTE and is real. It sure is. We got a guy here that Coach Legg knows pretty well. The new Lindsay Lane Christian Academy football coach will be joining us in studio, Mr. Jimmy Don Nave.
This is going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
We've also, this is like the show of the new coaches.
Yeah. Well, last week was too.
Was it? Okay. Sorry.
We had about 3. So it's, 2 weeks in a row. We're kind of introducing the new coaches.
Do we have a signing show already, or do we have one?
No.
Okay.
Just
curious. That's all right. No, not
just
saying.
kind of slipped through the
It's all right.
cracks,
So good. We'll start back next year.
We did have Tim Coleman and
that's right. I wasn't here that week, so
I think they had committed. I don't think they had not signed yet. But
was Spencer in? Spencer was in that show, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Spencer.
Spencer's already at Mississippi State now, so yeah.
At the time he had, I think, committed to Auburn.
Yeah,
at that time.
exactly.
And so
he done well. Spencer, I think, worked out better deal for himself. How that works. We also have the new girls basketball coach, Joe Carver. I don't know Joe. Do you know Joe?
I know Joe.
Yeah, I know Joe.
I used to date his mom.
Hey, Joe.
Somebody took my old lady today. Jimi Hendrix.
I know you talking about.
That's awesome.
All right. The new Elkmont baseball coach, Derrek Fikes, will also be on the show. Now, one of these is going to be on the phone. The others are going to be in-house. Do you know which one's which?
Coach Fikes will be on the phone.
Coach Fikes will be on the First National Bank hotline, making communities great. The others will be in here in-house with the at Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We'll have our regularly scheduled interview with Chris Harris, Trash Pandas broadcast and media relations, and our Swami of the SEC, Mr. A.P. Steadham, will be joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, look for us on Facebook at Applebee's Tailgate Talk and on Instagram or X at Tailgate Talk AL. Visit us online at tailgatetalk.net to get scores and archives of past shows. You can also vote on this week's Athlete of the Week poll and enter nominations for future polls, as well as find the links to download the PAS Plus app for your Android or iOS devices. This is great listening. If you like me, you've heard these songs on these classic rock radio stations 1,000 times. And you just don't want to watch commercials. I don't want to or listen to commercials. I don't want to listen to the radio. Heard these songs 100 times. Find that app store and check out the PAS Plus app and check out Applebee's Tailgate Talk. It's the next best thing to listening live. Is that right, Coach?
That's right.
Absolutely. Follow the Tailgate Talk podcast on iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, iHeart, and other popular platforms. Hear us on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus. You can also call or text during the show at area code 256-812-1TGT. It's area code 256-812-1848. And as mentioned earlier, our call-in guests come in via the First National Bank hotline, making communities great. We live in a great community ourselves. It's just wet. Prayers for everybody that lost some. I don't think we had any loss of life with the tornadoes this past week, but a lot of property damage.
A lot of loss of power.
A lot of loss of power. That's for sure. But
I don't know if they've gotten to everybody yet, because it seemed like it was just kind of trickling in.
We need to reach out to that cat that drives that beast in that extreme tornado chasing, where he pulled up in front of the tornado and shot that parachute thing up. They're offering a reward if you're listening in our listening area and you're around the Peach Corner area at all. They shot through an air cannon a sensor that goes up in the tornado, and it's a parachute attached to the sensor, and it got sucked up into the vortex. They have advertised a free pair of Auburn LSU tickets, a free pair of Alabama LSU tickets. If you find that parachute and that sensor somewhere, because they can't find it.
I saw that, and then somebody made a comment where neither Alabama or Auburn are playing
LSU this year.
Yeah.
That was what I was curious about.
So,
but either way, the thing is, over there around, like you may know, around Peach Corners, it's not a lot of stuff. There's a lot of gravel pits back there, a lot of farm.
We do hitting lessons down there below on Pete's Corner. There's, the guy used to have Joe's Pizza.
Yeah, Carlucci.
Yeah,
I know Joe.
He has his place down
Valentina's.
there. Yeah, Valentina's right there on the corner down there, and I think it's Kenny Winter Homes is they got like an office or something down there.
Yeah,
I think down that way.
So you do hitting lessons down there?
My daughter.
Your daughter's doing?
Cool. Yeah, they right down the way next door to Valentina's. We do them right there, but it's pretty good. But on that what do you call that Parkway? Not Mercedes.
Greenbrier.
Greenbrier Parkway right there. That's
cool.
Pretty rough down there.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of space.
There's nothing out there. Man.
Yeah, I would say it'd be difficult for them to find that thing, but who knows? It may pop up one day. The guy on the tractor may see that parachute sitting out there right before he plows over it.
I don't guess they use the Dorothy method anymore.
No. Well, it's similar. It's similar to it. They just shot the thing up in the tornado and then rolled the windows up and went round and around. Then they're in the middle of the Greenbrier Parkway. Yeah. That's crazy. Are you ready? It's time, ready. Ladies and gentlemen, for
scores and more.
All right, no scores and just a little bit more. I know there are several. Well, upcoming we will be at the Limestone County Sports Hall of Fame banquet. That's what we'll be doing. But then after that, we'll be doing best of until August. Mud volleyball is not happening this year, and I don't know if the plans are to bring it back or what the deal is. So I just know we'll have a uninterrupted break for summer. But then as far as other things, schools go, a lot of the schools around here are having camps, various camps, volleyball, soccer, youth football, basketball, so whatever your local school is. And I guess even if it's not one of your local schools, maybe in your neighborhood, you could still go to some of these other camps. So just get in touch with some of these schools.
The Limestone County Sports Hall of Fame banquet is June 14th.
Okay.
The golf tournament is June 12th. Contact Barry Devine on that golf tournament, 777-3810, $600 per team. I think they're still taking entrance.
He will.
You said the banquet is what day?
June 14th.
June 14th, okay.
You get your tickets at the United Way.
Get you tickets.
Next door to
tickets.
Bear.
Get the tickets.
The black, what was it? What it's called? Black Bear right there. It is.
Old Black Bear.
Old Black Bear.
Yep.
So there you go. Scores and more brought to you by P4 Physical Therapy, delivering world-class outpatient care with a purpose. Visit them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. And speaking of these fundraisers, how did y'all's bass tournament go?
I think it went really well, man. They thought it was going to be some weather involved there, and it turned out to be a really good day. And I hadn't talked to Tony. I've been really busy this last week of school with all that happens, the graduations and all this. And, I told somebody I've been pretty cool with this my first 3 years, but this one last night, for some reason, I didn't sleep. Didn't sleep at all. Thursday night, worried about, was this right, is this right, this right? And it went really well, man. I got a good crew of people around me that makes us all look good, and I just play the part. But they do a good job, and kids were really well behaved. I was really proud of them and proud of the parents, and it was a great night. A little hot, man, but I like it. I like it like that. We ain't worried about weather, and it was outside. I think that's really cool to have graduations on the football field. I think that's the ultimate.
It was really nice last night.
Had our scoreboard set up where it said 2025, and had it all done. It looked really nice, and our custodians did a great job, and it was awesome. But like I said, man, now starts a new year, and as Tim says, we got new coaches coming in today. They got to get started, and I was always wanting to get started next week. Some take off, and I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it, but yeah, man, I speak for us. If you go to another school, like to come to our camp, whatever we have, you're welcome to it. So I think any camp you can go to or take your kids to is good, but that's another discussion we'll have sooner or later, I'm sure. But that's how you get better, is go compete against kids that are a little bit better than you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you got a golf tournament
coming soon.
Yes, we're live.
Do not ask me the date of that. That's Brick Pew.
Oh, dude.
I know. It's coming soon.
It's June 21st.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
My team's in it, man.
Thank you, man.
I told you that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Love you, Tom.
I love you too, Clint.
That's awesome. Tell you what, man, I'm glad I'm looking around. I always like to check under the table to make sure Todd didn't show up. He's not here. Miss Todd, man. Miss Todd. I'm thinking Jay's playing some baseball probably today. And
yeah. I don't know. I don't know where he was supposed to play, but if it's close to here, he may not be.
Just checked Huntsville, and it's raining there, too, so I think it's everywhere.
That's all right. Yeah, it's going to be me, Tyler, Debbie's son, and one of Debbie's son's friends. So,
hey,
first time I've ever played a tournament with my boy.
Wait. Debbie's playing with you?
Debbie's son. His son.
I was excited. I know she played golf.
No, she don't. She drives. She drives a golf cart.
Even better, where you can be thinking about the next one.
Absolutely.
You was talking about Spencer coming in town. He come over. He was in the neighborhood the other day.
Yeah.
You can tell he's been at Mississippi.
You can tell he's been at.
You sure can.
I'll tell you something. I'm going to brag just a second. I bragged on my stepson and my son and my family before. Garen finished in top 141 out of 4,000 graduates from Mississippi State this year. So we got to go into where the royalty was buffet and got our own section to sit and all of that stuff. Awesome. So yeah, get your kids in, stay on them through school. Make sure. And days like those are just hard to beat, man.
It's awesome.
It's time to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into the meat of this show here in just a little bit. We'll be right back. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
Hear Applebee's Tailgate Talk on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus, and hear it in crystal clear quality. Applebee's Tailgate Talk will be right back. P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
First National Bank is a name everyone in the community recognizes. We see it in our schools, in our parks, and in our homes. First National Bank is proud to help make our community great. I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Brooklyn Alberton from Clements High School, and I love to help represent First National Bank in my community. First National Bank, making communities great, member FDIC.
Timeout. All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc Podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at wreakinhavoc.com.
This is Shelby Davis, head football coach at West Limestone High School, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
I'm all about the action. 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 I said I'm all about that action.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Tom McClung here, old Tomcat, the coach, Clint Legg, producer extraordinaire, Tim Lambert. And we've got our main man, our Swami of the SEC on the First National Bank hotline, making communities great. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome AP Steadham to the show. How you doing, brother?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody in Athens, Alabama today?
We doing well, bud. How you doing?
Oh, just fine down here in L.A., Lower Alabama.
Absolutely. Is it raining down there?
Just a tad. a few minutes and it quits.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get out today a little bit. So hopefully it holds off. Hopefully it holds off.
Cool. So anything big going on down there with you, brother?
Well, I tell you what, we had an interesting show. Great show this week. We had Keelan Russell's mother, April Moore, on our show. So it's always nice to discuss a quarterback's history and with his mother.
Yes.
Because they're usually the most closest, right? They're very close to their sons. And so that was a lot of fun to speak there with her. He played at Duncanville High School, and she's an Ole Miss grad herself.
Okay.
From Tupelo, Mississippi. So people can watch that on our YouTube channel, AP As We See It. And then our second guest, and we had two guests, and we filled up the whole show with the guests, was John Garcia Jr. We know that John's one of the best recruiting directors in the country for Rivals.com. So John and I have been friends a very long time. And so we had a lot of information about a quarterback and just recruiting and what's transpired with these changes with the NIL and the transfer portal.
AP, how do you feel about that situation? You said you went and talked to his mom. How do you? I mean, I really think Alabama is decided, and they told some that it's going to be Simpson, but my opinion is I think it's going to ride with him until something goes down or bad. But I think that their intentions are for Keelan to be the quarterback there pretty as quick as he can get out there.
Yeah, probably so. And I would think that Tyus Simpson is on a short rope, and they're promoting him as the person with the most experience. But I'm thinking last season when there was issues at the quarterback position, you did not insert him for any critical moments. And this is when the season was on the line. So, but now you're telling me he's the man. This could happen. I think better receivers this year. We'll see. New offensive coordinator, right? Those are some pluses, I think. Can they get that offensive line to protect the passer? Because we know that Ty is not as mobile as Jalen Milroe, but he can escape. He has some ability. But like you said, I think that we're going to see the courage of Kalen DeBoer this year. Will he insert another quarterback in a critical moment if things are not proceeding in a positive manner for that offense?
I'm going to say this. He better consider it because he's amongst a fan base that's not going to settle for him winning I know 9 games is cool for others, but it ain't cool for the Crimson Tide. And I want the best dude out there. And if that best dude's struggling, like in baseball, if you're not getting it done, they pull you and put in something called a relief pitcher. So I'm all about that. I think Alabama's better in every sense of maybe not so much O-line. But the quarterback is inexperienced. The wide receivers, you got some studs out there. You got some good running backs and a good defense. You solve it and find you a quarterback. Here we go. Sky's the limit, I think.
Yeah, my position has always been they're on scholarship, aren't they? Yeah. I mean, you recruited them for a reason. This idea that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings in this day and age, hurt somebody's feelings.
Nope.
I don't think it enters the equation. If I was a head coach, I'm worried about my feelings and the team's ability to win ball games, and that's my duty. And I'm trying to win the most games for the team and our fan base and everybody who follows our program. So this idea that this quarterback did something for me, I have to keep him out there. If they're playing poorly, there's no way that I'm, as a head coach in this era, that's my position. No way.
AP, I'll give you a good example of that. At Auburn last year, Coach pulled Peyton Thorne for the start of a football game, and Hank Brown come in, and he played well and then started him the next game, and then proceeded to throw interceptions. And pulled him, put Peyton Thorne back in, and then later on in the season, Walker White got time on the field. All of those were 3 scholarship quarterbacks like you're talking about.
Yes.
And all 3 of them are gone now. They didn't perform to what the coach said. Coach went out, and, of course, he recruited Deuce Knight. We've got Jackson Arnold in, plus a kid that we haven't seen yet. Nobody has seen in an Auburn uniform from Stanford. And Tristan Davis, I can't remember his name. But you've got those 3 guys are on scholarship now that like you said, coach is planning on that scenario. He won't. I don't think he'll have that scenario again as long as he's coaching at Auburn. It's quarterback that he can't trust to put on the field.
Yeah, I tell them all when they arrived on campus, this is a situation. We insert left tackles and right tackles and defensive linemen and cornerback. Same with your position. So just be ready. We have to have more in the decision than just your feelings. We're trying to compete in the SEC and compete for a college football berth. So this is the situation, the quarterback position. If you're playing well, fine, you're in there. If you're having struggles for an extended time, I'm saying an extended time. I'm not saying a couple of series.
No.
It's like three quarters and nothing's happening. Even by halftime, maybe some games you're going to put somebody in to start the second half, but 3 quarters and nothing's happening. I'm not depending on you to turn it around in the fourth. I watched it for the 3 quarters and nothing happened successfully. So we have to make a change.
Yes.
AP, I don't know if you guys have been watching the SEC tournament, but every time I watch that, Tom,
baseball.
Yep, SEC baseball tournament.
Yep.
I'm thinking this, AP, I know you've probably been by it, but we have a lot nicer complex within 30 minutes of Applebee's here in Athens where the Trash Pandas play. We've got plenty of rooms. We've got plenty of motels. I want them to consider moving the SEC tournament to, I'm going to say Madison, because if you see it, man, it's just a lot. I'm not hating on Hoover. I know that's tradition, but I'm just, man, I think it would be a great place to have it.
Yeah, and that's probably a good idea. Somebody suggests that. Huntsville it's not the biggest city in Alabama as it's going to be. I guess that's a projection. So it's not like you're moving to a small venue. There's a lot of people around, and you're getting closer to Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Kentucky up north there. And so maybe it could be an option. Yeah, maybe it could be. They come up with the right numbers.
Yes, sir. Been pretty competitive. I watched a little bit of it, and some of our SEC teams are still doing good in softball in this super regionals and going to World Series with a couple of them soon, I hope. So the surprise team of that is how hot Ole Miss in softball has gotten. I mean, they beat Arkansas, which is a pretty good right now in that tournament. So, man, the SEC is just the monster of the monster, and everybody else is what they are.
And they may be kind of feeling it out. I mean, they've had some college baseball there early in the season.
They have.
I'm trying to admit it. I'm not being a homer. I'm being, go over and look, man. Send them all over there. Let them look at that. Go look at the Hoover Met.
Yeah. No, it's a professional baseball site, so why not? And Madison's a nice area, Huntsville. So if I was somebody in Huntsville, I'd making a road trip down to Birmingham. The SEC offices there.
They better pack
my case.
Thick wallet, because that's what it'll take to get that sucker out of the Met.
I'll bring the bankers with you, of course. Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody, all the financial people for sure, because that's what moves the SEC.
Yes,
that's what moves them. The commas in your presentation. I don't mean in the statements either. I mean in the financial world.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those commas are hard to beat. More of them, the better off you are.
That's right.
All right.
But, anyway, so how do y'all feel about? How do you feel? I keep hearing about Tennessee. They're downgrading Tennessee. I mean,
something's going on.
Quarterback left and. Yeah, but man, everybody's coming at them like, they're not going to be that. I don't know if they're going to field the team this year, are they?
That's
discussing Tennessee.
I get a lot of clickbait when I click on my Google, and so you don't know which articles to click. But there's been several articles coming up about, is Tennessee even going to be in the SEC next year? I'm like, what in the Sam Hill's going? I didn't know if you might know what's going on with all this clickbait.
Right. I was looking at that. I think we're going to try to have somebody, a guest on our show this week or very soon from the legislature from Tennessee. We want to get that straightened out and have our audience be privy to that, the reasoning behind that legislation, and see if there's any blowback from the SEC. They wanted to sign these agreements when that House settlement arrived. So it's kind of fascinating because you're really challenging the power. the Tennessee legislature, the SEC is a powerful conference, right? Everybody's saying they're one of the best conferences, and nobody's decrying that it's not. But, that's pretty strong for the state of Tennessee to challenge the SEC.
It is. Well, maybe we'll find something out, and we can work on it over the next week and over the summer, bud.
I hear you on that, because this is so fluid. This situation is this wild, wild west. You're not going to tame it in one scenario, but there's so many things that are in play right now, and pun intended.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. It's hard to project.
Yes, sir. Let everybody know how they can find you, AP, and
Yeah, all our Facebook, Instagram, X account, Spotify, AP As We See It, and also our personal one at AP Steadham. All the places we visited. We went to the Saints camp this week. I put up the interview with the head coach. He was on there for 20 plus minutes. He spoke at the podium. So, and I got a chance to talk to Valus Jones, Jr. for Tennessee's with the Saints, trying to make the team. Yeah,
great.
So that was fun. I didn't record it, but we had a nice conversation though. But anyway, check us out.
We'll do it. Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thank you now.
Appreciate it.
Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Swami of the SEC on the First National Bank Hotline, making communities great, Mr. AP Steadham. It's time to take a break. We'll be right back with head coach Jimmy Don Nave, new football coach of Lindsay Lane Christian Academy. We'll be right back.
If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Baron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local health mart pharmacy. As your local health mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local health mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with a Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
This is former University of Georgia guard Mike McWhorter, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Tom McClung here at Old Tomcat alongside the coach, Clint Legg, producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. Coach Jimmy Don Nave is back in the county coaching at Lindsay Lane Christian Academy. Coach, welcome back, man.
Well, I appreciate it.
I like that Nike shirt you got on with the LL over there.
Oh, yeah. We promoting here, man.
Absolutely. So,
I'll go, man. I'll go.
You go, Clint. I'm going to turn you loose.
Let me tell you this, man. I've been around football for at least 20 years or more. Man, Coach, it's been 30 probably. Yeah. I've never been around a guy that the kids love and that can get along with anybody, that the kids play hard for every Friday night, that the kids loved. And when I was a part of Coach at Tanner, and we had amazing teams at Tanner, it was definitely a good cop, bad cop, and I love being the bad cop. And Coach Nave did such an awesome job of being the good cop, and it's carried over, and he's been successful everywhere he goes. And we talk about this is Clint Legg's opinion. as far as the Hall of Fame goes and the Limestone County Hall of Fame and all this, there's no reason why, and I speak for everybody that went to Tanner High School and played for Coach Nave, why Coach Nave is not at least in this Hall of Fame soon. And, Coach, you're going to be in there soon because I think I'll take the initiative to vote you in, because I don't know if many of our guys can write well enough to just joking. I'm just saying, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in there. You well deserve everything that I've got done through coaching was because of you, and I appreciate you. And I know you're going to do them a great job at Lindsay Lane, and I know you are. But tell us right now what's going on at Lindsay Lane.
Well, I appreciate it, Clint. We have a field, we have the beginning necessities, but we've got in the process of getting quotes on bleachers. We're going to have a field house, and it have dressing rooms as well, but we want to have a weight room, everything to make that place very appealing. When you come in the back road, that's the first thing you see is football field. So the ball's rolling, and it's going to take a minute to get it where we want to be. We're going to play a JV schedule this year, and then next year will be Friday night.
How are your own numbers for your players?
We're good. I think they had 16 last year, and again, that was a JV team. As of right now, we got 30.
Really? Okay, nearly double.
So we have. I really feel like that probably over the summer we'll maybe pick up, another 2 or 3, if not more.
Cool. Hey, you look like Clint's legs are the only guy I can stare at. It looks like he's fixing to say something,
Coach,
and he stays silent for another 30 seconds.
I know.
Somebody asked me the other day, says, "What's some things that you picked up from Coach Nave? You got from Justin?" Well, the first and most funniest thing is superstitious.
Really?
I mean, listen, when we were on a roll at Tanner, we won like 13 in a row. Me and Coach Nave went to Camino Real and ate Mexican food every Thursday night.
In Decatur?
I looked at him and went, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, no wonder
I'm so sick of Mexican food. Coach Nave goes, "Well, I'm not going to be the one to jinx us." And I went, "I ain't either." I wore the same socks, same underwear, same T-shirt, same clothes. If it was 15 below zero, we go, "Boy, I'm wearing a coach's shirt." And was I cold? Yeah, but I wanted to play the role. I'm tough, and it bothered me. And the kids go, "Coach, you get cold?" I went, "Hey, it ain't cold out here." Freezing.
Yeah.
I was really freezing. But, man, but like you said, I told you guys that once Coach got in there and the parents come and meet Coach, that his numbers will continue to grow.
Yeah.
And last year, Coach, we played, Clements, our JV played out there against them at the school. And like you said, man, you can really tell it's the bones of a good place out there, Coach.
It is.
You just need bleachers, field house to make it look like a football stadium.
Well, the community and the teachers, and they want football really bad, and that's good. And I know it's a big jump from JV to varsity, but there's what I've noticed from looking at film on these kids, they're aggressive, which is number one.
Number one.
And you always can work with kids that way.
That's exactly right. And Coach, what do you feel like y'all be 1A, 2A, 3A when it comes?
As it stands now, if they today, and of course it depends on where the numbers cut off on the other end, 3As and all that, who's dropping and whatever. But 2A, we're like, as it stands right now, probably 7, 8 kids over.
Really? Yeah. 7, 8 kids over to be down in 1A.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but 2A is, what is it? Tanner would be probably being there with you.
It's Winston County.
Yeah.
Red Bay.
Yeah. Yep.
Tharptown.
Yeah.
Lexington.
Yeah.
There's one more. I think I'm leaving out, but And of course, Clint was with me all the years. It's and I guess we were 1A then. I thought we were 2, but anyway, 2A football is
at Tanner?
very competitive.
Yes, sir. It is
very competitive. And if you want to get you some, go over on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little place over there called Fife will give you all you want.
Yeah, get every bit of it.
Yeah, but here's what Fife does, guys. When you play Pee Wee football, you run Fife's offense. You play middle school football, you run Fife's offense. And when you get to high school, we're just rolling. See, we got places around here that the Pee Wee football coaches think they know more than the high school football coaches.
No.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Coaching needs to have Lindsay Lane football, and all the kids need to be figuring out what coach does, and we run it. Clement's the same, Tanner the same, Ardmore the same. Be on the same page as your varsity coaches to have them in a situation where the kids win, and that's the only way to do it, man.
Well, we're just getting started, you know.
Yeah,
and
it's fledgling right now,
right? And we're going to treat this year. A kid, believe it or not, a kid needs to learn how to practice.
Yes.
You got to learn how to practice the correct way. But we're going to treat this JV schedule as if it's varsity schedule. So everything we do, you can implement, will be carried over to the next year, and it won't be a surprise for the kids. And whomever, I mean, I really don't have a staff yet. And we got the ball rolling trying to get some people in to where we can maybe hire, but their patience is going to be golden.
Yes. It's going to be.
So you have no staff, just you right now.
Zero. I guess can do like Phil Carpenter did one year. He coached the whole 9 yards by himself. I thought, that was pretty tough.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It really
is. Another different how, but you can't. East has changed so much since the 90s, man. It'd be hard to do it like that.
Oh yeah, you can't do it now. But it's it's super exciting.
Yeah,
kids are, and you know what? There's a fine line when you're practicing. You got to make it fun, but yet at the same time, it's got to be work.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and instructional.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure they're doing it right.
But the one thing Coach Nave started at Tanner, and it's carried over, and this is a great story, is every day, and I get all this funny stuff about how today Coach Saban went and Coach went Freeze went ones versus ones. We went ones versus ones every day at Tanner High School because we had a different 11 playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And it was so much that Coach was worried about because they would really try to kill each other because they had to go live in the same neighborhood. So we're going to get after it. And that's always been the MO of Tanner. Fast forward, we get C.J. Yarborough transferred into East Limestone. First day I go out there to practice. He is absolutely knocking chin straps off them boys at East Limestone. And Jeff goes, C.J., what's wrong with you? He goes, what do you mean, Coach? He goes, that's the way we practice it at Tanner. You better buckle them chin straps. Man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That started with Coach and the way we did things there. I mean, did some people get hurt? Not really.
Nah.
But if you got hurt, you won't get to play no more. That was huge.
Well, at least had a lot of quick whistles, put it that way.
Yeah.
Coach had to explain at Tanner what the whistle meant.
No, that
was Coach would go, when I blow and they would ask him, it was legit questions. Coach, is the chirp of the whistle when it starts, can we still hit somebody? Coach would go right before he'd go, no. I'd go, yeah. If you're right there, you hit them. But anyway, we got several penalties by doing that. But, man, we were aggressive.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But, man, Coach, this is a crazy question, but where do y'all keep y'all's equipment and your helmets since you don't have a field house and stuff?
Well, we've got a dressing room.
Okay.
And it will house, it'll probably house, you're going to have to double up in the locker. You make, because the middle school's in there, there's 25 of those kids. So, you know, we're going to be in it pretty tight. But those little boys, some of the little ones can go 3 to a locker, big as they are. But we've got that right now. But it's, you know, we're just Mr. Parker's getting the ball rolling, trying to get things together, get that place up. The first thing we did last week, I guess, ordered new goalposts. Mr. Parker said, I want those fluorescent yellow goalposts that people can see when they pull off that driveway instead of the ones we got.
Mm-hmm.
So we got those coming. That'll be the first thing that'll be done. And just chip away at it.
Have you been to the soccer program to recruit you a kicker yet?
That's what I'm trying. And you know what? And I'm not. I think I asked. I don't believe we have one.
Okay.
But I have a kid. I do have a kid that can kick a little. But
I was going to ask about soccer because I
don't
think they had.
I think they had maybe a JV girls team.
I think they had girls, maybe, yes. But now as far as guys, and that's the last 2 or 3 places. Well, last 2 or 3 places been. We've gotten soccer guys to come kick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been girl kickers on football.
There has been.
So,
but yeah.
That's where you get them, man. We've been fortunate this spring. Bricks found he's having a little tryout of four of our soccer guys, and they've been so competitive. I went out there and told them the other day, I said, y'all are not kicking on the game field. We're just trying to get better, Coach. I said, we're going to put a goalpost on the practice field. You mess it up by kicking in the same spot every day.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We get it figured out.
Oh, yeah. Coach, who you playing first, you know?
West Limestone Wildcats.
JV.
What grade is up to?
We're going to
y'all
play
are playing everyone,
everybody.
right?
But now, and it's really the coach's discretion. But because in a established program, you're not going to take a senior that's getting a lot of reps on Friday night and take a chance to get him hurt on Tuesday.
No.
Or Monday. But and we have only 2 seniors. So that, everybody else, I'll be playing a lot of 9th graders, but you're not going. And Clint would always hold me down and let him take 1 or 2 players that's playing a little bit of varsity and let them play a little JV on Mondays. But one of them that in particular was a monster, so he's a good sized kid. So he just needed the reps.
Sometimes you just need the reps in that situation.
That's right.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us, man. Congratulations on your new gig. Welcome back to coaching. And how long have you been out since before?
Well, I left in 97.
Okay.
And I hadn't been back. Right. And you know what? I never moved. I still live in Athens.
Gotcha.
And I just stayed around. And this job I've thought about it a lot of times, and I would kind of keep my eye on them and see if they were going to pull the string and try to have football, But I was very fortunate that Mr. Parker has enough faith in me to start another program like we did at Whitesburg.
There you go. Congratulations. Look forward to watching you this coming year.
Best of luck,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
The Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship has been set up to honor the legacy of Bama Zach Green, a huge fan of the Crimson Tide, along with Limestone County sports. The scholarship will go each year to a male and female athlete from Limestone County. Checks should be made out to Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship and can be sent in care of Garth Garris, 13833 Pinnacle Drive, Athens, Alabama, 35613. Donations can also be made in person at First State Bank of the South at 1319 Highway 72 East in Athens. Thank you for showing showing your support for local athletes by giving to the Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hey, this is Clemens High School head coach Brick Pugh. You're listening to Tailgate Talk.
Take out the papers and the trash.
Let me give you some trash talk.
Hey, you want to talk some trash?
Trash?
Trash. Trash. Won't pick it up. Take them like no way. Girl, why not take out the trash?
You don't know how to trash talk, do you?
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Tom McClung here, old Tomcat, alongside the coach, Clint Legg, producer extraordinaire, Tim Lambert, and we have got on the First National Bank hotline, making communities great, Chris Harris, Trash Pandas broadcast and media relations. Hey, brother, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We are doing well. I heard a big rumor that Chris Moore was moved up to AAA this week.
Well, yeah, he was. That was.
I know it's no big secret. I'm just trying to find a way to keep everybody in suspense for a little bit.
No, I got you. No, he went up on Tuesday, and part of a kind of a host of moves that were made, and he's been off to a great start up there too.
Has he now? Okay.
He's I think 9 for his first 15. 9 for 15. He's got a home run, 5 RBIs, 2 or 3 stolen bases. So I think he, me and Josh last night kind of had a few different conversations on the broadcast about, how there's a lot of semblance of history of how, hitting in the PCL and hitting in AAA, is a little bit easier than hitting at this level. And he's certainly taking advantage of that because he, not saying he struggled, mightily here, but, it was a tough time. He was, hitting around 220, only had the 1 home run. And boy, I tell you what, he's got to AAA and he is taking off. And the way he's playing right now, you would think he might be in the big leagues, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it seems that this Southern League here with the AA pitching is pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, you just never, every night there's somebody on the other side that offers a challenge, and you just really never know what you're going to get. I think that's one of the biggest things. You got a lot of raw talent, and sometimes you just don't know where, what you're going to get. And where in AAA, you kind of know exactly what you're going to get. Guys are throwing a lot more strikes, and the PCL and in Salt Lake and Tacoma, Washington, and Albuquerque, and some of those other places, the ball travels a little bit better too.
Yes, so it does. There's no humidity in the air in some of those places. But we talked about it earlier in the year that in AA, it's usually where a lot of your major league teams start their top of the line drafts. You get a kid that's coming out and he's expected to be a high draft player, and they'll stick him in AA, and you often end up with better pitching and better fielding and better hitting. And AA is a little bit more competitive sometimes than AAA is.
No doubt. Nobody skips AA. There's some people that will skip AAA and skip some of the lower levels, but nobody really skips AA. And that tells you something. But another thing, I don't know if you guys noticed on Tuesday as well, we added a couple of guys, and one was a local product. We got Mitchell Daly, Mitch, who played his high school days at Bob Jones High School, and
I did see that. Yes.
Yeah, and he's had a journey through college. Ended up going to Texas to start his college career, and then ended up at Kentucky, and then drafted or signed by the Angels. And he's made his way up now to AAA. Actually, had a little bit of time at AAA this year, kind of filling a gap, and then has now joined us, and had a chance to talk to him a little bit this week, and he's really excited about getting to play at Toyota Field, next week for the first time.
Oh wow! But do you have the Mitchell Daily section where all the family members and everybody will be wanting to see it?
I'm sure that will. It's amazing in the history of the Trash Pandas. There's been some players who have, obviously had some ties locally and things like that. Sonny DeShera, who, is from Hoover, played at Auburn, and guys that have played for Alabama and Auburn and Samford and different things like that, but never had a guy who, played high school, locally. Yeah. At least in the surrounding counties, and Mitch is the first guy, and he's got a cool story. I'd heard of him and obviously knew of him, but he was born in Fort Hood, Texas. He was kind of an Army kid and moved 8 times growing up, and his father, Edward Daly, is a 4-star general in the United States Army.
Really?
So what a interesting family he's from, and ended up, obviously with, being in Huntsville and being there for 4 years, which I think is pretty amazing. If you move 8 times as a kid, you're, in the same place for 4 years to go to high school. But we're excited to have Mitch, and I know he's off to a little bit of a slow start. I think he's 1 for his first 9, but
big jump.
Excited for him to come back home.
Absolutely. Hey, let's change gears a little bit. Talk about some steals. Nelson Rada, first player in AA this season, still 20 bases, man.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's denying the talent for Nelson Rada, and of course, this is his second year in AA, which is amazing because, he's just 19 years old. He won't turn 20 until August.
Is he that young? That name sounds like he ought to be 30. Nelson Rada sounds like a 30-year-old name.
Yeah, no, he is just 19, and he's still the youngest player in the league, and I think he's been on base in like 13 of his last 14 games, and stole a couple of bases last night, and he's the first player in the league to get to 20 steals. The one thing with this team is missing. I mean, he picks up 2 steals last night, and still second, still third, and gets stranded at third base. I mean, that's kind of the story. A little bit of this ball club. Right now, still trying to figure out, how to win, how to get, driving runs consistently and things like that. But he's such a great talent. I mean, he's going to be a star, and just watching him, progress and continue to add to his game. He's one of the most talented defenders in minor league baseball. Watching him play center field is a lot of fun. But being 19 years old, I mean, he's so mature, whether it be just off the field and how he carries himself, and then the way he plays on the field. He's so much more mature beyond his age, and he's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, you got to have wheels if you're going to play center field to be able to. It's been being that fast helps a lot, especially when it comes to stealing bases. Tim, you look like you was going to say something, man.
I was going to let you finish.
I'm finished. Okay, I'm finished. Go ahead, producer.
Well, before we let you go, though, the big old ballpark fair wraps up tomorrow. I don't know how this weather up here is going to affect that.
Well, it does. But you guys make it okay last week, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Weather-wise.
Yeah. Okay. I think the biggest problem was probably power, I guess, but power outages. I mean, there was some damage west of us, a little southwest of us.
Yes.
Lucas Ferry
that well.
Decatur
southwest of us. That's over there close to my son's daughter's house. The storm went over their house and put the tornado down right about Lucas Ferry Road. But a lot of no physical. I don't believe there was any injuries, but there was a lot of property damage and telephone poles down. But yeah, thanks for checking on us.
I knew. Of course, Athens over there, man. They've been through it, and me and Josh were keeping up with the tornado warnings and the watches and stuff, and that was scary. But no, I tell you, we've been on the road for 2 straight weeks, and I think everybody's kind of ready to get back home. I think the fans are ready, and hopefully Mother Nature cooperates. We have a lot of great promotions next week. It's our first Wednesday night game. We've been playing those Wednesday day games, and so it's the first Tito's Dog Day. You can bring your dog to the ballpark on Wednesday night, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So bring your dog to the game. There'll be a waiver you sign when you come through the Pepsi gate, and
waiver saying no dog poop on the promenade there.
Yeah, we're not going to go as far as some apartments and like DNA testing your dog or something like that, to see who actually left it. But just be responsible. And in a weird move, or a unique move, I should say, the next night, Thursday night, is cat night. So you can bring your cat.
How in the world that is going to work, man?
Might see some herding cats.
Telling you, because I don't know many cats that you can put like one of those, those sports bras you put on the dog. That not just a collar, but I don't see how that's going to work. But hey, best of luck to you.
I made the suggestion to do it on the same night, and they didn't think that was a good idea. But that's just me. That's my sense of humor. But no, we have fireworks Friday and Saturday night. For the kids who love Harry Potter, next Saturday's Harry Potter night. We're wearing some special jerseys that'll be auctioned off for charity. Next Sunday, it's our first of 3. Lunaticos night. Lunaticos, our Copa alternative identity.
Yes.
And so that'll be next Sunday as well, plus giving away a bobblehead as well that day. So lots of great promotions. We got something really for the entire family, and fireworks and the giveaways, and actually on Harry Potter night we'll be giving away a cooler bag as well. But partnering with the movie studio with Harry Potter, and really going to be a cool night next Saturday. But fireworks Friday and Saturday, and of course grab those tickets at tptix.com.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, Chris. Have a good week, man.
You got it.
All right, dude. We'll see you.
See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Harris, Trash Pandas Broadcast and Media Relations. Great interview as always. It's time to take a break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
When it comes to the Wi-Fi in your home, are you in control? Manage your Wi-Fi with the ATC Control app. ATC can help you get the best Wi-Fi experience. Prioritize your laptop while you work from home, or prioritize your streaming devices to enjoy your favorite shows. Ready for a better Wi-Fi experience? Visit ATC's website at www.ardmore.net to download the free ATC Control app today. Certain equipment and/or services may be required. ATC is an equal opportunity employer and provider.
What is community? I'm a First National Bank Student Advisory Board member, and I am alone from Tanner High School. And to me, community is supporting those who connect us. First National Bank proudly supports our neighbors, businesses, schools, and organizations that make Limestone County a great place to live and work. First National Bank, making communities great. Member FDIC.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hi, this is Athens girls basketball coach Tiffany Tucker, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We're live here at Applebee's in Athens, Alabama. Top of the hour, 11:07, and we've got our special guest calling in, First National Bank Hotline, making communities great. Welcome back to the show, George Visger, author of Facing Giants, My 38-Year Battle. George, how are you doing, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
Man, we're doing well. We're doing well.
Happy Memorial Weekend.
Oh, say that one more time, sir.
Happy Memorial Weekend, and thank you all your vets out there.
Hey, buddy, happy Memorial Day weekend to you as well. Tell us a little bit how things have been going. Tell us about your book. Former defensive tackle with San Francisco. Just fill us in on what you have going right now.
Okay, so as you mentioned, I played with the Niners back in the early 80s. Defensive tackle, 81 Super Bowl season. I developed what's called hydrocephalus, water on the brain, from concussions. I had 3 emergency brain surgeries that last year, 9 emergency brain surgeries the next 12 years, and it took me in a 38-year legal battle to finally settle my work comp case. So my book's titled Facing Giants. My 38-year battle, and the giants I had to face were hydrocephalus, the $19 billion NFL, and the $26.3 billion Travelers Insurance Company.
Wow. Those are big giants, man. All 3 of them.
They are, right?
Yes, sir.
And I was just a little nobody, blue-collar kid, scrapping to, wanted to play in the NFL and take care of my family. That was my dream. So it turned into a nightmare.
It turned into what? I don't want you to give
a 38-year nightmare.
I was fixing to say I don't want you to give away the book, but did it turn out okay?
You know what? Fourth quarter's ours. That's when I played. Whenever the fourth quarter, we kicked into the fourth quarter, I'd always look around the huddle and say, "Hey, fourth quarter's ours. We never lose it." So let me tell you, we kicked them in the teeth in fourth quarter.
Good for you.
Won.
Good for you.
God shined upon me and said, "You know what? This isn't right." And we held their feet to the fire. They had to pay their bills.
That's good. That's great, man. Hydrocephalus, NFL, and Travelers Insurance. Those are three giants. If one person had to face them, it would be difficult.
Oh, yeah. And it was nonstop. It was just, every day of my life for 38 years was a scrap and a battle to stay healthy, to fight off creditors, to just get bills paid. It was just nonstop.
So you mentioned some of the battles there. What were some of the other battles that you had to face daily? Like with the CTE in itself is tough.
I lost several. I started I went back to school. I originally won my case. Let's go way back. So my second and third brain surgeries were 10 hours apart, just 4 months after the Super Bowl. I was 23 years old. I was given last rites.
Oh,
also
wow.
given the hospital bills. I have no memory the next 16 to 18 months, zero to this day, after that third brain surgery. And my first recollection was hospital bills.
Oh, wow.
And keep in mind, I was so out of it, I just didn't even go back to the Niners. That year and a half were gone. I don't know what I did. And so all of a sudden I had these hospital bills. And I'm scratching, I'm bouncing at nights for $10 an hour and working construction during the day for $12 an hour. And people ask me, what did I do with all my money? And I said, you mean the $106,000 I made in 2 years, which included 2 playoff checks and a Super Bowl check? I said, well, I lived for 2.5 years, with no memory. And I was scratching to keep my head above water. Creditors on me for years. And so in '86, I had no idea, but I was the first NFL player to ever have won a work comp case. I was forced to sue to get my bills paid. And when we won, they offered me $35,000.
Uh-huh.
And I told them to pound sand. I said, I want what every injured employee has earned. I said, I want my past. It's called vocational rehab.
Right.
I could no longer function in my capacity as an employee of the NFL, an employee of the Niners. So they're obliged by law to retrain me in a field of work. That's called that I make comparable amount of money, and that's called vocational rehab. So instead of taking the $35,000, and thank you God that I didn't, I said I want to leave. I want my past medical paid. I want my future medical left open, and I had 6 more brain surgeries after that, and 2 more knee surgeries. And then I said I want to use voc rehab to go back to school and complete my biology degree. Now I had 4 years of biology at Colorado, and I was drafted in '80, actually by the Jets. Originally, I went in the 6th round of the Jets, and then got cut, and the Niners picked me up shortly after. And so I said, I just want to go back to school, finish my degree, and I'll be done with you creeps. And so they agreed. And I didn't say creep. I called them something else.
I'm sure.
So
that's probably why the laugh was there.
It was a part of the anatomy.
Yes.
that you sit on. Let's put it that way. And so they agreed. I went back to school. Now I'm living in Sacramento, so I went back to school at Sacramento State University in '86. And I had 4 more semesters of chemistry left, 2 of physics, 2 of pre-calc. While I'm taking those courses, I have 5 more emergency brain surgeries, several grand mal seizures, developed dyslexia, major short-term memory issues. Took me 5 more years to graduate. I was 32 when I finished my biology degree, which was the toughest thing I did in my life.
Wow.
And I pursued my second dream. From the time I was a little kid, I wanted to be the greatest NFL player to ever live, and I wanted to be a biologist. And so I finished my degree. I was 32 and went to work as a wildlife biologist, living my dream. That was 1990. In 93, my 8th shunt blew out. I have a shunt in my head that drains spinal fluid from my brain down to my abdomen. And when the pump plugs up, I go into a coma. So I'd already had 8 of those over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that 8th one went out in 1993, had my 9th brain surgery, went back to work as a wildlife biologist, got married in 95. I was mid to late 30s. And then I actually taught high school for 2.5 years. I taught biology, chemistry, environmental studies, and English language learners algebra. And then I went back to work as a biologist. And then in 2003, I founded my own environmental consulting business. But I was always very, very, very vocal about my injuries, right?
Yes.
And nobody wanted to talk about brain injuries. Guys will talk about, I've had 3 knee surgeries and blah, 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 but no one talked about the brain injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started the Visger group, Traumatic Brain Injury Consulting, and I've spoken all over the country. I write articles. I've written articles in New York, U.S. News and World Report. And so I was very vocal, and I was very vocal about what the NFL was getting away with, which was illegal.
Right.
Injured employees, and they kick you to the curb, and you're on your own with no medical benefits for the rest of your life. And so anyway, in 2010 or 11, 2010, an article came out in GQ magazine, which literally changed my life. It's titled "The Game Brain: The NFL's Cover-Up of Brain Injuries." And it was written by Jean Marie Laskus. Even with no memory, I can remember all this stuff.
Okay.
And it was on Dr. Bennett Omalos, the first 24 NFL brains he ever studied. 23 had CTE, the disease he discovered. Now this came out in a movie years later in Concussion. Yeah. Will Smith played Bennett.
Yes,
and
sir.
Bennett's on my advisory panel. Bennett's a close friend of mine. He wrote an advance praise for the book. He and I have presented together over the years at conferences. So I read this article, and I print it out, and I'm at my office real late at night working, and I'm underlining stuff, because a lot of these guys I played against, I knew, and they were killing themselves, and I was livid. And I get done with this article, and I'm thinking, I got to find this Dr. Omalu. Well, he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania when the article was written, right? My office is in Sacramento, so I track him down. I get online, I track him down. By the grace of God, I get his cell phone number. The man works now in Lodi, California, which was like 40 minutes from my office in Sacramento. I dial this number, I get his voicemail, and I knew I had the right guy because at the end of his voicemail, you know, it ends with, remember, God loves you. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's going to be legit. So I leave him this voicemail. Dr. Marlon, Nick George Visger, I've had 9 brain surgery, blah, 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 blah. You know, he calls me back within an hour. And he says, yeah, George, this is Dr. Marlowe. Would love to speak with you, but I can't. He goes, I'm speaking at UC Davis Medical Center tonight, which was like 15 minutes from my office. I'm telling you, God's had his hands all over me on this journey. It's been amazing.
A lot of fingerprints all over that one so far, man.
Oh, I'm telling you, there are so many of these things that happen like this through the course of my journey. It's been amazing. And so I tell Bennett, I said, what time are you done? He goes, I won't be done till 8:30. I said, I'll see you at 8:35 in the lobby. We go out to dinner that night. We are bouncing stories back and forth till midnight, what the NFL was doing to him, did to me. And at one point, he looks at me and he says, and Bennett will speak about himself in the third person, at least he used to. He says, why does the NFL attack Dr. Omalo? And at the time, they'd only grossed $9 billion. I said, Bennett, I'll give you 9 billion reasons why.
Oh, yeah.
I said, this is America. Now, he was born over in Africa. Amazing story on the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is America, Bennett. It's all about the money. And he couldn't understand that. He said, don't they want to know that their industry is killing their employees? I said, hell no. You're the last thing. Your information is the last thing in the world they want to hear. And so from that day on, man, we have been shoulder to shoulder. We've presented together at conferences and stuff, and Bennett's a close friend of mine. And so that just fueled my fire. I'm like, holy cow. And I got more and more vocal. But as all this going on, my cognitive issues were really, really going down the tube.
Well, still, even with your surgeries, your issues are still happening?
Just all the cognitive issues. I developed dementia in 2010.
Oh, wow.
I lost my environmental consulting business in 11. I was on 4 different dementia meds, anti-seizure pills, sleeping pills, all at once. I couldn't find my way home from work. I was vomiting 3 and 4 times a day. I was explosive to my family. I never touched them, but my wife and kids were scared to death of me. You know, I would lose my truck all the time. The doctors tell me, well, George, you have frontal lobe dementia. There's no cure. You need to turn in your driver's license, file for disability, and get your finances in order. And I said, what are you telling me? And I have 3 small children, right? And my wife at the time, Christy, was an elementary school teacher. They go, well, you're never going to get it better. And you just need to prepare. And I said, no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I ended up going down to Dr. Amon's clinic. He was doing a big study on NFL head injuries. I contacted him, and he said, we don't need you for a 1-day exam. We need you for a 3-day exam. I went down there, a 3-day full-blown neurocog evaluation. I took my wife at the time, Christy, and my youngest with my son, Jack, because I wanted them to talk to the doctors when I wasn't in the room. Because if you ask us ball players, how are you doing? Our first answer is, I'm good. You know, I'm good.
Yes.
But you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I do.
And most men will say the same. But people around me are like shaking their head going, no, he's not. Because I don't remember the things I've done. It's like, oh, he's lost his truck 4 times this month. I was writing checks out of closed bank accounts. We had up to $1,000 a month in return check fees.
Wow.
My wife, she would try to tell me that was the wrong account, and I would explode on her. I mean, my heart breaks for Christy. Thank God we're all healed up now. So everything was imploding. We ended up losing the house. You know, I slept on the floor at the hyperbaric clinic for 2.5 years. My children suffered. They all moved down to Christy's mom's house in Sacramento. They had an hour commute to go to school and where Christy taught. It was a nightmare. And I still had creditors on me and And so I'm battling, and then I get this new work comp attorney, Chris Asbar, who's another one of these amazing angels in my life. Jason Lukasevich was the first attorney to take on the NFL. He's another one of my angels. And Chris was able to reopen my work comp case in 2014. And from 2014 till I settled in 2019, I had to beat the Travelers in 5 work comp hearings, 8 work comp appeals, and 3 times it took me clear to the California Court of Appeals to keep me from getting into to doctor-prescribed medical treatments. They have fought me tooth and nail, and I'll tell you why. I had no idea when I won my work comp case in '86. I had no idea I was the only NFL player to have won, and I was the only. No one even won another work comp case till 2010. So I was like in the crosshairs for decades. We can't keep losing to Visger because he's precedent setting, and when a word gets out that these are benefits the guys have actually earned, we're screwed, you know? And so they fought me. They threw everything they had at me for years. And in 2019, and then when Jason Lukasevich won in the over $1 billion NFL brain injury lawsuit, and I was the 22nd named player on the original filing that he filed. There's over 20,000 named plaintiffs in it now. And I was one of 7 guys that Jason flew back to Washington, D.C. to speak at the press club when he unveiled the suit. And there was like 247 media from all over the world. And I was no one in the NFL, right? I played 1 year, and I was injured my second year. And I got up and spoke real quickly. I said, hey, 9 NFL brain surgeries, 0 NFL benefits. What else do you want to hear? You know? And so, well, I'm battling the Travelers in 2017. I can't remember the years, but the NFL brain injury lawsuit was won. So I'm going to get a little chunk of it, right? And I'm thinking, thank you, God. I'll get my kids back in a home, back on my feet. Within a week of me being approved for the NFL settlement, the Travelers come in and file a freaking $615,000 lien on my NFL settlement, which was more than I was even going to get. And I'm like, so now I'm in a 2-pronged battle with the Travelers, trying to remove the lien and settle my work comp knee and my work comp brain injury, because I had knee surgery my last year also. So in 2019, we go into a mediation hearing, and I've got my work comp attorney, and I've got Jason Lukasevich, the NFL attorney, and he brought out an attorney partner of his, Max Petronia from back east. And down the hall are 7 of the Travelers' top corporate big dog attorneys, and 9.5-hour mediation hearing. 9.5 hours. And 8.5 hours into it, they wanted me to pay them $700,000.
Oh my gosh!
Serious. And we've been making progress during the day, and all of a sudden, the judge comes in. Here's her latest offer, and I just lost my head. I told him I'd kick his tail. I'd kick all their other tails. I said, I'm walking. Now, had we not settled, they were going to take me to a full-blown jury trial 4 days later. Unprecedented. A jury trial for a work comp case?
That's just unheard of, yes.
They spent millions in legal fees fighting me over the years, and all I ever asked for was just cover my medical bills.
And
leave me alone.
You were the door, though, George. Once it opened, then everything else was going to fall right through very fast, and yours was going to become much more than what it would have been. I'm sure, but I'm sorry. You go ahead and finish your story. I don't want to interrupt.
And you can interject, because I'll get rambling on this, and I apologize. But it's nice to have a little bit of a break so people can kind of comprehend.
You can take a breath.
And I lost my head. And I told the judge I'd kick his tail. I'd go down the hall and kick their tail. I said, let them sue me. I said, I don't have anything. I lost my business, my home, my marriage, and my kids. I said, I don't give a damn anymore. I said, bring them on. Let them sue me. I said, let's see if they have the gonads to fight me for 38 years, because I'm not quitting. This was all about right and wrong, and they were wrong. And so the judge pleaded with me to give him one more chance, because I was out of my chair. I was heading out the door. He goes, give me one more chance. We walked down the hall with my attorney, because this is after 8.5 hours. They're in the traveler's office for an hour. They come back, and those guys folded. They folded their freaking tents.
Really?
They pushed me that far to where I had to threaten to just, I didn't even care. I said, I don't care. I'll beat the hell out of them. Throw me in jail. I said, I'll have a roof over my head and 3 squares a day. And they folded their tent, and we settled. And we settled quite nicely.
Well, that's good.
And we walked out of there. There's a non-disclosure. I can't state the numbers, but I told the judge, I said, screw you and screw them. I said, I started on a book 11 years ago. I said, this is all coming out. I may not put exact figures in, but I'll put exact numbers, but I'll put figures like, hey, settle for X number of figures. I said, bring him on. Now I need to settle down a little bit, because now I have stuff to lose, you know?
Yeah.
But I was just, when we and Jennifer, who's now my wife, had gone down there with me. We had met a few years earlier when I was living at Center for Neuroskills getting treatment. I spent 19 months at a facility on 3 different terms. You know, the first doctor recommended 30 days. The travelers fought us for 17 months to keep me from getting in there. We won a hearing, an appeal, and California Court of Appeals. I get in for 30 days of treatment. Now I'm in my mid to late 50s, right? Center for Neuroskills. I'm living there. They go, wow, Mr. Visger's showing great improvement. We recommend 90 days. There's another 1.5 years. A hearing, appeal, California Court of Appeals. I do 90 days. They go, wow, he's still showing great improvement. We recommend a year. Now, keep in mind, this is costing big bucks every day to the travelers. I spend a year at Center for Neuroskills, working my tail off 7 hours a day in the facility while my neurocognitive issues, I have anger issues, counseling. Finally, after those 19 months, it brought them to the table to try to settle. That's what it took. And when we settled, I was able to put 2 of my kids through college, my middle daughter, and my kids were on their own. They were paying their own way through college and working. And Amanda graduated 2 years ago from Sacramento State University, gave the commencement speech. My son Jack just graduated last week with an engineering degree and already got hired 2 years ago as an intern, and he's killing it, kicking his tail. I mean, just my daughter Stephanie went on, opened her own business, and the kids battled through this storm. They were homeless basically. They lived at grandma's house for 7 years till Christy bought another house. Jack slept on grandma has a 2-bedroom home. All 3 of my kids and Christy lived there for years and commuted an hour to school each way. And my kids were playing sports. They'd get home at 9 or 10 at night. I'd be waiting on the lawn at grandma's, carrying sleeping kids in the house. And then that would be my only contact with my kids. You know?
Yes.
It was a nightmare, but my kids turned out, they're the greatest people.
Yeah, that's good.
Good human beings, thoughtful, kind, hardworking, conscientious. I mean, I've been blessed there. Chrissy and I, our marriage didn't last. 2017, we hadn't lived together for years after we lost the house, but we finally got divorced, you know. And she's a wonderful person. She went through hell with all this. And but by the grace of God, we made it through. We're healed up. I've been doing treatments, neurofeedback, hyperbaric oxygen treatments, eating healthy, omega-3 fish oil. I'm doing better now cognitively than I was 20 years ago.
That's great. Well, George, as much as I'd love to keep talking to you, brother, we've run out of time. you said you keep going, but I had to interject here just a little bit. Do me a favor, let everybody know where you can find the book, and man, God bless you. And you seems like you have, as you said, one in the fourth quarter. So.
Oh yeah. So you can go online. The book will be coming out in the next week or two.
Okay.
So you can go online at just georgevisger.com, and Visger is V as in Victor, I, S as in Sam, G-E-R. So just go to georgevisger.com, and you can pre-order limited edition, personally signed hardcover copies. And then if they wait another few weeks, paperbacks will be available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all the usual deals. But it's a story, let me tell you.
Yeah, sounds like a battle, brother. I'm glad you come out the way you did.
Well, I've been blessed. I mean, God's had his hand on me.
Absolutely. Well, man, God bless you, and take care, and I hope you sell a butt ton of books, man.
All righty. Hey, thanks for having me on, bud.
Thank you, George. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, I'll send you a book. We'll get you a book.
Absolutely. Send it to Tim. I'd love to read it.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, George Visger. It's time to take a break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
What is community? I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Hadley Madison from East Limestone High School. And to me, community is supporting those who connect us. First National Bank proudly supports our neighbors, businesses, schools, and organizations that make Limestone County a great place to live and to work. First National Bank, making communities great. Member FDIC.
Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with a Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
Hey, this is East Limestone girls basketball coach Jessica Thompson, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we have another live guest in studio, the new girls basketball coach at Athens Bible School, Joe Carver. Hey, dude.
How are you?
I'm good. Just making sure I got your name right.
Yeah.
Because, see, I write names down a lot of times, and then I misspell or I can't read what I wrote.
Well,
so it's C-A-R-V-E-R.
Yeah, that's right. Joe with an E. J-O-E.
J-O-E. Joe Carver. All right, cool.
Well, as long as you say it, Joe Carver,
right,
on the radio.
I know.
It doesn't really matter how
I might look at it twice and say it wrong in another 5 minutes.
Well, I guess so.
You just never can tell with me. I'm out there. I'm a live wire.
J-O-K-R-K-A-R-V.
Yeah. E-R-U-R.
Yeah.
I'm a rogue agent, man. Never can tell. Joe, welcome. Welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, and welcome to Bible School.
Yeah,
as
good to be here.
Basketball coach.
Yeah.
Tim, talk to him just a little bit. I got to ask this lady a question.
Oh, well, okay. Well, now you're actually not just now getting to ABS. I mean, you've been there for a little while, just kind of as a...
Just moving up through the ranks, so to speak.
Yeah.
We came, I guess, when our oldest Lucy was I guess, in the 4th grade. Now she's going to the 9th grade, so that's put me at
Oh, wow.
5 years or so now. And as soon as I got there, they had me start coaching, and it's been good. Just been moving up with these girls as they go. I had 4 girls, so I stayed on the girls' side, not on the boys' side, and here we are.
Yeah. So, okay, so Corey, I mean, he had a graduate this year, so I guess that's why he said, okay, you can have it.
Yep, they came to me and said, we've seen what you do. We like what you do. Would you like to step in there and keep doing it? And I said, well, yeah, I like it. Like I said, I didn't want to be a coach, if I'm being honest. Of course, you start as a player, most people do, and I just want to keep playing. You know, after I got done with college and everything, I just want to keep on playing, and then people just kept asking me to coach. And so I coached my cousins there for a little while, and then I coached with Brad. I guess it was middle school boys, and I don't even remember those years. We coached together. And then here we come back, and they said, hey, what about you coaching these girls a little bit? And
Where'd you play in college?
I went to Florida College.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
FC. You went down to FC for a while, didn't you, Tambo?
It was a toss-up between my singing career and basketball, and I decided to go with basketball.
You done well. A lot better choice.
And, I mean, I was on the team. I never got to the point where I was a regular starter. I worked my way into the rotation, and then you either get out of your own way and figure out how you can play, or you play like somebody else. I tried to play like somebody else. It didn't work out. But then after that 2 years, I still wanted to keep playing. And, again, I just didn't find it. Like I said, God sent me another way, so here I am.
Well, who was the coach down there?
Kenny Moyer.
Okay.
Which, I mean, he's moved up. I think they live over in Florence now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, I went to school with him when he was there.
Oh, really?
When he was a student down
Yeah.
there. So, man, it's just
here we are.
The big, long, wide circle, ain't it, brother?
Right.
Funny how life is like that.
It is.
So you're the new varsity girls coach.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Now, who was the other guy that was the coach for a while?
Yeah, I was just talking to Corey McElroy.
Corey was last year. Well, who was before that?
David Cox.
David Cox.
Yeah.
That's right.
My memory is just only like a year old. So,
well, I mean, after talking with George, I forgot half the stuff I said.
Well, I was
3 weeks ago.
Trying to solve problems while y'all were talking to George. So I was.
Did you ever get the problem solved?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Okay, cool. What have you graduated, and what are you not coming into? Because I don't necessarily understand. Your first year, what are your expectations?
A little bit of uncertainty, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of expectation, to be honest. I mean, we know what we lost. We lost, of course, Brooke Blakely, Kaylee Carter, Addison Simmons, Addison Butler, Kaylee Helms.
A lot of experience.
A lot of points, a lot of rebounds, a lot of steals. So you got to figure out, how am I going to overcome what I lost? And, I mean, we've got some youngsters, these young girls that are coming into the 9th grade, of course, my daughter included. I mean, they're good. They have been good at every level they've played at. And I have a style of play that works with them. You have to curtail it a little bit to personnel. And I've done that. And I think with what is still left, you still have Avery Boggs. You got Lily Burrell. Ava Gale will be able to contribute. I just feel like we'll be able to put something together and surprise people.
Okay.
You know, like you say, the expectations are low, but for us, I feel like we're going to surprise some people.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, who have you got over here that came in with you?
That's my oldest, Lucy.
Okay.
So she'll be coming into the 9th grade.
Well,
she
come
was
on
wanting
over
to get,
here.
She wants appetizers.
What?
She
There you go.
That's what these are for.
Yes.
Help yourself, Lucy.
It's free food. She's in on it.
Yeah.
But as a payment for that, you've got to put those heads.
You got to put the head. You just don't get to sit much.
Yeah, it's not
Microphone
all
down.
totally
There
free.
we go.
There you go.
Now, she's been coached to say only positive things about her coach/father, and so I'm sure that's what she will do.
Yeah. We'll get it out of you, trust me. Just be glad Todd is not here. Todd would have you talking. We always throw shade on Todd when he's not here. But
well, that's good. He can't defend himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of the instigator of the bunch.
He is a good instigator. He does it so fluently and just rolls right off the tongue. So how long have you been playing basketball, Lucy?
I guess like 5 years, like since I've been going to ABS. I didn't do it like much like before ABS.
Mm-hmm.
Caught the bug, and I mean, y'all know ABS is not known really for girls basketball. They're more a baseball, softball, and volleyball school.
Yeah.
And of course, we're trying to change that and get some of these girls thinking about basketball a little bit. You know, you can do all those things.
It can be done.
That's a fact. And I mean, like I said, we had some success 2 years ago, and I was on the coaching staff that year. You know, helping Corey and them that year. Went to sub-regionals, and then they wanted, I guess, to go back to the way they had it. Didn't go as far, but still had a good season nonetheless.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how far they had gotten, in the past maybe few years.
Yeah, sub-regionals.
I was thinking it was farther this year than.
No, this year they didn't get out of area, so sort of took a step back, but not really. Again, the girls program, I feel like there's excitement around it. You got a lot of interest in the program, and I don't know. I feel like we pick right up, so to speak.
So so you're the new girls basketball coach. At a 1A school, you kind of get volunteered to.
That's right. It's
coach
a non-paying position.
Well, what I'm saying is you kind of get volunteered maybe for other sports too. Are you going to be doing anything else or just?
So, I mean, I did coach a pretty fantastic 6U T-ball team this
there
year.
You go.
My daughter, I got 4 daughters, and that's one of the youngest.
God bless you.
Amen. The youngest daughter, she wanted to play softball, so we did that. But yeah, I mean, you do. You get in there and you help out wherever you can. I mean, we're also going to do a basketball camp this year.
Oh, okay.
So we'll head that up.
Is it just going to be girls or
that'll be
like
everybody.
A youth?
Yeah,
okay.
That'll be everybody. It'll be I guess 12 and under, or from 6 to 12. I guess when they get below 6 years old, it's just babysitting and throwing balls at each other.
Yeah.
From 6 to 12, you can teach them a few things. So yeah, we'll do that. I don't know if I'm going to get involved in any of the other. I haven't been asked to get involved with softball or baseball or volleyball, but you don't know about Brad. He's liable to ask you, or, get out there and throw some BP or something, you know. But
don't ever throw BP. You're done.
I'm going to tell you, I did. They got me up there when I was 22 or 23. And, you're out there, and all these high school boys are there, and you're like, yeah, let me show you a little something.
I still got it. Yeah,
that's right.
That old chestnut.
I did have it.
It's a lie. Brain is telling you lies.
Could not lift my arm the next day.
Yeah.
It was done. And then from there, it's just been a wreck. So I'd say I'd learned my lesson, but I don't know that I have.
When I'm back to the camp, when is it going to be?
June 26th and 27th.
Okay. And you
It'll be
are all the basketball coaches?
Yes. So the way me, David Chumley, his assistants, of course, Will Chumley, Tiffany Merle, and then we'll get some of the girls out there, of course, to help with drills and things like that, and we'll split it up. 6U and 8U, and then 10U and 12U will be later on that night.
Okay.
So,
now who are your assistants going to be?
Tiffany Merle. Me and Tiffany have been coaching essentially from the start.
Yeah.
But then we've also got Breland Phillips, and I've got Peyton Rogers. So Peyton played 2 years ago, and Breland I think was 3 years ago. And so we're getting a little bit of that young life back from previous players.
Okay.
So I think we're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good as far as the staff.
You're going to have to get another music person, though, during y'all's games, if Tiffany's going to be over there on the bench.
Yes, she can't really pump up the jams. I don't know. Are you interested in doing that as well as your other duties?
As well as streaming it, too.
Pump the jams.
I actually did that one year.
Did you?
In the early days of streaming at the old place, they didn't have anybody, and so during the timeouts, I'd have to,
kind of
change
do that.
Yeah.
I don't know who the DJ will be. We'll just have to see. Guest DJs?
Well,
maybe we can market that.
Well, let's see. Now, Micah Clem, he had an iPad. I think he used to do it kind of wirelessly. So
really?
she may could still sit there.
Yeah, she might still do it. Just have a song on her heart and go ahead and put it out there during the timeout.
Hey,
pull up the Spotify.
Put up some "Sing and Be Happy," man. That's always made me go.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, are you going to kind of continue as far as scheme and everything you've been going, or?
So this summer will tell us a lot about the personnel. The way we've been playing their age group. I don't know if you remember way back when Butler High School girls back in 97, 98 were amazing, won state championships. And then, of course, Lauderdale County won like 5 back-to-back with the triplets and everything.
Yeah.
And they played a style of aggressive defense, full court pressing defense. And, I mean, that's how they won, off defense. Of course, you see Spring Garden even right now. Ricky Austin has got them playing great man-to-man defense. But that's what we're going to start with defense. And that's from there, we'll force turnovers, and then we'll go for high percentage shots. I mean, layups, free throws is a high percentage shot. And so my intention, what we've done successfully before, is we'll get out in transition, reverse the ball, take advantage of a bad closeout, and hopefully win a bunch of ball games.
Yeah. Well, if you play good enough defense, all you got to do is score one more than the other.
That's all it takes to win the game.
That's fact. You got to be able to put it in the basket from up close. And again, if you're out moving, I mean, that's what's been successful in girls basketball.
Yeah.
Of course, when you got an Ace Austin on your team, of course that makes it a little easier too. But I mean, we have talent. We've got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we do.
Yeah. Don't model your game after Angel Reese. She can't hit a layup.
Well, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to go more to the Caitlin Clark side of things. We're going to push it up. And I mean, again, a transition 3 is a good shot. We'll take that. And again, when you're in transition, you can offensive rebound, so Luke can get in there, pull down some boards, hit the layups back. So.
Now, this would be, you mentioned 3-pointers. This would be a Todd question.
Yes, it would. Oh, gosh.
One of the things, and I kind of agree with him. You see these kids, they'll be open in, ordinarily 2-point layup points, but no, they'll stop at the 3-point line and jack one up. And so I guess it depends on how good 3-point shooters you got. But,
that's right.
I'd rather take the 2 personally.
So if it's an open 3 unabated and you could have dribbled in and taken the 2, I feel like you got to get in there. I mean, that's an 80% shot down there at the lake.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now if you've already hit 2 threes and now you're coming down and you pull up from 3, it may be one of those, no. Yes, that's what I wanted you to do. Fantastic. Good thinking.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, generally.
But that's only if it goes.
That's right. It's again only if it misses. Then I mean, you're on the bench. That's right. Yes. You didn't take the layup. Come on.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Sit down with me.
It's like one of those times when a play can either make you look like a genius or a doofus.
That's right. That's right.
What little rec league ball I coach was if the big man run the floor, you better get him the ball.
That's right. And I mean,
don't jack up a 3 when the big man runs the floor, because he may not want to run the floor again if you keep doing it.
Well, that's a fact. You discourage.
Yes.
And so we holler a lot. We're going to push it up the sideline, and we're going to go ball side block. We're going to try to dumb it down and get that layup. That's what we're doing. Push it up, go ball side block. Let's get a layup.
Absolutely. Well, I know that sign. Joe, thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing Lucy out here with you.
I've enjoyed it. Thank y'all for having me.
And best of luck this year with your new gig and ABS, and hope to get to watch some games this year.
Thank you very much.
God bless you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc Podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at wreakinhavoc.com.
Hi, y'all. This is former Rams cheerleader Jennifer Cobb, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Tom McClung here, old time cat, alongside producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. Sorry, Coach Fikes. Hang on just a second. We had Applebee's appetizers are extremely good, and these breaks are not long enough. So you take a big bite of a chicken nugget, and then the producer looks at you and goes, 10 seconds. Wait a minute. Give me 15 at least seconds.
See, if you had come in, then you could have eaten some of this stuff. So
that's right. That's what our appetizers are for. They're for guests. Ladies and gentlemen, Derrek Fikes, the brand new baseball coach at the Elkmont Red Devils. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are y'all?
Man, doing good. Doing really good here. Except munching on a few appetizers. Oh, that's doing good.
I'm a little jealous.
Well, like you said, you get next time you come in, and
next time,
make sure it's you're on the second hour when you come in. It's good because that's when the food shows up. So then you come in, help us eat. So tell us, are you totally a new hire at the school, or have you been there and been an assistant coach, or fill us in on your story for your baseball team?
Yes, sir. I'm a brand new hire. The last 3 years I've been at Waterloo High School over in Lauderdale County.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I've been the head baseball coach and the defensive coordinator there for 3 years. So I'll be a brand new hire.
All right. What do you think of Elkmont, Alabama, and the facilities out there so far?
I like it. Great facilities, great school. People were very friendly. I like it. I'm not super familiar with the area, so it'll be new to me. I've been in the Huntsville area, but I've never been in the Athens Elkmont area.
Okay.
But yeah, I was very impressed with the facilities. The baseball facilities are very nice. The weight room was super nice, so I'm excited to get started.
You've got good staff, good support at the top, and you've also got good support from other staff. So I'm sure any questions you have, all you have to do is reach out to somebody over there. They'll be glad to help you out with anything you need.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead, Tim.
So
you had something.
Well, I was going to say, are you? When did you get officially brought in? Was it the school board meeting the other night?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I was officially approved earlier this week, I think, at the board meeting. I had interviewed before, but that's when I was officially approved by them.
All right. Well, I didn't realize you was that new. So everybody's listening on the radio. Tell us. Now we know you're from Waterloo now, but tell us about Coach Fikes. Where you been? What you been up to, brother?
Yes, sir. I've been around a little bit. I've been in the Tuscaloosa area. I was there for 2 years. I spent 1 year at Brookwood, 1 year at Thompson High School. So I've kind of been at the big schools.
Yeah, you've been in the big programs there.
I've kind of been at the small schools. I was actually, after I left Thompson, I went to Hazel Green, and that's kind of my connection with Elkmont. Is Joel Shrink, the head football coach, is one of my really, really good friends. So when he reached out to me, and he was kind of my connection there. So I had him in my past. And then before I went to Tuscaloosa, I spent 3 great years down south at Sweetwater High School. We were able to do some pretty good things there. Had a really rich amount of players and athletes. Wasn't really what we did. It was all about them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
So you talked about Coach Shrink. So is he saying, okay, now that I got you on, you're going to have to help me out on the football field?
I was wondering I was going to ask that, yeah.
I actually asked him. I'm not real 100% sure if that's going to be what happens or not. I mean, I'm fine with it. I've coached football every single year that I've been a teacher. So, yeah, I love both sports. I love to coach both sports. So if he's wanting me to help him, I'm 100% on board with that.
I think you landed in a good program, in a good spot there, Coach. Elkmont's
Yes,
good, is a very good community/city, and Coach Shrink's a good dude. My wife and his wife are family, so.
Oh, Miss Donna, I love Miss Donna too.
Yeah, Miss Donna, and they've got good connections here locally. Even though he's been off coaching in faraway places, he's got good connections here. So what do you know about your team? Have you met anybody, or just is this your introduction to Limestone County as it is?
Yeah, this is kind of my introduction. I haven't met anybody. I've done a little research. Went back to the last years and looked at their roster and who they got coming back and some of their box scores. I actually have a really good friend in Phil Campbell, so I talked to him a little bit, and I think that's who they played in the first round of the playoffs. So I reached out to him and talked to him a little bit, got him to tell me what he thought, and but I have not. The only people I've met are, of course, Coach Shrink and some of the strength and conditioning staff and football staff, and Mr. Aderholt, of course.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, we'd love to.
I was
got one more
ask
thing.
you,
Okay.
I mean, we had some tornadoes come through the area here a few days ago, and I kind of stalked you a little bit on Facebook after I got in touch with you last night, and I saw where you kind of have some experience in that area.
Yes, sir. Back in, so my very first year teaching and coaching was 2010, 2011.
Oh, wow.
I was fresh out of college, and I was actually, my first job was at Hackleburg High School, and the F5 tornado came through there and pretty much destroyed the whole town, and introduced me to education and to coaching in a pretty big way. So, yeah, I still have a pretty big tie to that town and those people, and, something like that happens, it kind of leaves a mark on you, and it brings the whole community together, and everybody kind of grows a lot closer when that happens. But yeah, I was a part of the big F5 tornado.
Well, you may or may not realize it, but that tornado that hit Hackleburg never left the ground, and it come right through Limestone County here and went through Tanner and East Limestone and followed the same path that the ones did in 1974. So it was a unique thing. Well, hopefully we won't have another one of those for a long, long time.
Sure hope not.
Yeah, me too, dude. Hey, don't be a stranger. We're at the end of the show. We want to meet you here personally next time we talk. We've only got one more show for this season, and then we'll get back into to next year and try to play some golf. If Coach Shrink will play, if you play golf, he's a good golfer. So get him out there on the course.
I play golf, but I'm not very good.
So, don't let him take your money, man. I'm just kidding.
I'm not. When I say I'm not good, I mean I'm not good.
That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Derrek Fikes, your new head baseball coach from Elkmont baseball team. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate y'all.
See you soon, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of another show. We've got one more left for the season, and then we're going on best of after that. We'll be back next weekend here live at Applebee's. On behalf of producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert, my name is Tom McClung. We don't have to go home. We've got to get ourselves up out of here. We'll talk to you next week.
You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill on Highway 72 East in Athens, just off I-65. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.